Alright, hello everybody! I am back to talk about The Wandering Inn. So, I want to talk about Volume 4, which consists of books 5 and 6. So, this has been the best part of The Wandering Inn so far. And it's coming in, it's starting to reveal some of the greater themes that it wants to talk about. And so I'm actually caught up with the books now, so I can hint at a couple things further ahead, but I won't too much, considering I do actually want to talk about the whole series, volume by volume, since each of these volumes is really one whole book, or one whole arc, I think, a story arc. And I think it would be unfair to talk about it in the book's format, because those book formats, while great, are also, they just don't work very well for The Wandering Inn, because its greater arcs are so huge and massive that at a certain point it just gets crazy. So this is, again, Volume 4, which consists of books 5 and 6. And man, with book 5 especially, there were such great moments. As we open up the book, we start off the book, we get into we get a new perspective. And I love this perspective so much, because it's a ruler's perspective. And I always love getting to see a ruler's perspective, but also one that is charismatic. I love a great charismatic ruler. Those are always just so fantastic and fun to watch. And it gives you a better scope of the world, the politics between countries and nations. It really helps ground yourself in the world. And so there was a great deal of that at the start of the volume. And around the halfway point, we get such a brilliant and beautiful emotional climax that really the climax of the volume itself, which was the ending, the last chapter or two, felt lackluster to me because there was such an amazing and brilliant moment in the middle. And we also got to go back to another continent called Rear, and I loved getting a little bit more of that. I loved getting to see good portions of that again, because we don't go there often. We don't get to know too much of what's going on there, because I know that continent will be very important later on in the story, but we don't have too much of it quite yet. But I can't talk about anything more without spoilers, so I guess let's just go right into it. 3, 2, 1. Alright, so I'm in spoiler territory now. Man, I gotta talk about the Brunker stuff. I have to. Oh, just everything about Brunker. And just the thought of Brunker and all his journey, because he had such a great arc into being this very prejudiced, he was from this very prejudiced man who was not taking kindly to Marcia, and of course Lionette, who blew up his aunt's stall. I really don't blame him for that one, but as he grows to love the people of the inn, he starts to understand that Marcia is not anything that is doom about her. It's not fair, you know. It's not something that you do to a child. This is a child, and no matter what her fur color, it's small things like that, and how he's slowly growing to love them. And then his dream is accomplished. This was the most evil shit. How he fulfills his dream. He's finally getting to fulfill his dream of being a knight. And then, right as he gets his dream, right as he was given the thing that he wanted most in life, and how he's just ready to take it to the next level and to fulfill his duty as a knight, he just gets it all taken away from him. He's just robbed of life. I think those are the most potent deaths. When you have this person filled with potential, he's about to set on to the next part of his life, and he's just ready to jump into the next phase, and you take it all away from him. Those are the best deaths, in my opinion, because there is something that has been robbed. This character has been robbed of something. It really makes you feel the weight of murder. I love it when an author can really dig into it and make you feel that murder is a sense of stealing. You have stolen his life. You have taken it for yourself and taken it away from this person. And you really, really felt it with Brunker. And I remember the moment where Aaron made that little bone stew or whatever. I don't remember what it was because I read book 5 a while back. When she makes that bone stuff and she feeds it to them. And how she puts on this fake grin. I remember smiling and going, "Fuck you! Fuck you!" I paused the audiobook so I could scream and shout, "Fuck you, pieces of shit! I hate you! Like, eat shit!" And I was so happy that they were about to get their asses kicked. And then they don't get their asses kicked. They fought so well, and they fought back, and I hate Venitra, and I hate Ishtvani. They're so fascinating, but I hate their guts. Ugh! And then getting to go to Rear and see the clown sections, that was fascinating. I loved the dichotomy of what's going on with, what's his name? Oh, fuck. Tom. There we go. Tom. I loved everything having to do with him. He was such a fascinating character. I just, like, that, the revelation that the clown, the laughing monster that's inside of him, is not him. That this is somebody who is actively controlling him. Maybe it's a skill, we don't quite know, but it's taken over him. It's so fascinating. There are two creatures in this body. It's that kind of generic trope of there's the demon inside you. But where in most cases it feels like your hero is going to win, for the clown, we don't know. For Tom, we have no idea. Because at every single possible opportunity, the clown wins. At every single point, he takes over and he does the monstrous deed. And actually, that's what I think about the clown is so fascinating. He's not deliberately evil. No. Oh, he's malicious. Don't get me wrong. But he's not evil. He's just out to get what's the most interesting outcome. What is the most interesting thing to happen? What is the most fascinating thing that I can do? What will be the most chaotic answer to this question? Like when he goes and sees his friend, the fool, and how he talks to him, and he's like, this is Tom's friend. I don't give a shit. Now, what's fascinating about Tom's friend is that he goes, okay, what can I do to you to make you suffer the most? Or just what will give me the most interesting reaction? He's like a malicious evil lady who's like, and I'm talking like a queen or something like that, noble lady, who's just messing around with people so that he can get what's most fascinating to him, so that he can get the most gossip out of it as he possibly can. Oh, and I didn't even talk about Evileth. Evileth's death was just wondrous. I mean, painful, but wondrous. And then, what's his name? Terriarch coming down into the land for the first time in a really, really long time was such a great moment. And his discussion with Ryoka and how everybody's in so much pain, and it was such a wonderful depiction of grief. I wish I'd talked about that more in my spoiler-free section, but I'm not going to go back and re-record that. I loved how all that just twined together into this beautiful moment of grief. Everybody's in pain from the death of Brunker, and you see this volumes later. I mean, I'm on volume 7, by the way, and even then, you get repercussions. You still see the impact of Brunker's death that it leaves on everyone around him. Brunker's death was so well done. And then there was Zell Shivertail's death at the very end of the arc. Volume. I thought that was an absolutely brilliant moment. Now, I don't think that battle was the best. I'm going to be honest. I thought it was anticlimactic. I didn't think it was as intriguing as the other moments. Like, the Oz-Karash bit was just so good that I expected something somewhat close to that level. I did not get that, in my opinion. In fact, this may have been my least favorite climax of all of them. So the Skinner one, because Skinner's fascinating. So he's definitely, like, I still think he's more fascinating than this climax. And maybe that's not true. I take that back. I think the Volume 1 climax is, like, right below that. But right above Volume 1 climax is this climax. I'm talking about for the volume as a whole. Because, like, if I said middle point counted, then this is the best part of The Wandering Inn. I thought that all the stuff about Brunker, all that stuff was absolutely brilliant. I was glued. I could not stop listening. I remember I had to go to school that day, and I was so pissed because I did not want to go to school. I wanted to listen to The Wandering Inn. That's all I wanted to do. And it was brilliant, brilliant, brilliant stuff. And the death of Zell Shivertail was so fantastic. I still think that the Volume 3 ending was the best one. I think the Volume 3 one was. Yeah, Volume 3 is the one with the Winter Solstice and all the people bringing the gifts and all that. I loved that. That was fascinating as all hell. I truly, like, that was chef's kiss. Damn, that was great. That was great. And what else do I got? I got nothing much. I, again, loved Zell Shivertail's death. It was a fantastic moment. And I loved the naming of Reese, the Goblin Lord. That was a brilliant moment. And so I think this definitely marked... So when I read this, I definitely thought it marked Volume 5 is going to be the advent of the Goblin Lord. It's going to be all that stuff. And it's really going to bring all this conflict to a head. Because we've been building this conflict all the way back since, I want to say, Volume 2. When we first heard about... Yes, it was the first appearance of the Goblin Lord, I think. We got mentions of the Goblin Lord, and with Ryoka facing off against the Goblin Lord back in the High Passes, I believe. It's all starting to come together. We got the first great clash with the Goblin Lord, and we get to start seeing things unfold and unravel, and it's just going to be an absolutely fantastic time. I cannot wait to talk about the next volume. And so that's about all I have for today. Have you read Volume 4 of The Wandering Inn? I hope that you have if you're this far. But if not, go start reading The Wandering Inn. It's absolutely fantastic. I have nothing but praise for this series. Actually, I have criticisms. But for the most part, it's just praise. And, I didn't even talk about The Last Light of Beleros, which was all the stuff around... What's her name? God damn it, the healer. Geneva. There we go. Brilliant, brilliant stuff. And that's about all I've got to say. So, tell me, what did you think of Volume 4 of The Wandering Inn? What were your favorite moments? Tell me in the comments. I'd love to talk to you. So, anyways, I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic day, and I will see you all next time, which will be my Biweekly Reader, by the way. That'll be Wednesday, and I should start getting things back into motion, though the background will be changing soon. I'm very excited for that. You'll see. Anyways, I hope you all have a fantastic day. See you next time.